A lot of people may have seen this type of eye tattoo called a scleral tattoo over the white part of your eye. Don't do this, very dangerous, can cause a lot of problems and blindness. And more recently, people are seeing corneal tattooing that can actually change the appearance of the color of your eye, but could also change the appearance of scars on your eye and may also have some functional benefits as well. The question is this one more safe to do? Let's focus in. The name for this is called keratopigmentation, more commonly known as corneal tattooing, and this has been around for a long time. We're talking centuries. In more recent history, corneal tattooing has been used to improve the cosmetic appearance of a large corneal scar or maybe a white cornea, or if someone has a hole in their iris from either trauma or a laser procedure or a defect, that can actually cause extra glare and light sensitivity when light passes through that hole and gets scattered. And so they can actually put a corneal tattoo over that area to block some of the light going through that hole to reduce those symptoms. Now, taking it a step further, they can actually use a laser called a femtosecond laser, the same type of laser they use on Lasik. They can take this laser and create a donut-shaped tube or cavity within the layers of the cornea, and then they can inject the dye into that cavity that permanently stains the color of the cornea. So this is not dyeing the actual color part of the eye, the iris. It's dyeing the cornea, the clear dome that sits over the iris, and so that will have the appearance that you're changing the eye color. Now, one thing to know, this is not an FDA-approved procedure in the United States right now. But there have been a lot of studies, case studies, that have shown the overall outcome of these procedures have been fairly good, with the main side effects being glare, light sensitivity, eye inflammation, maybe some eye pain that resolve on its own after days or weeks after the procedure. But there are some reports of these side effects lasting longer in patients, and it's making those patients worried. Also, some bad reports that I looked up of a corneal transplant where the procedure actually did cause some permanent damage to the cornea where they needed a transplant in order to see well. And all these studies and reports do say the same thing, that we do not have any long-term studies of the effects of corneal tattooing. And there are some big questions. Will the dye from the corneal tattoo cause any long-term effects to the cornea? Will this cause any long-term dryness? Will this cause any changes to the structure of the cornea, like keratoconus? And you have to keep this in mind. This is a procedure that does a permanent change to a healthy cornea, a well-seeing eye, that could potentially have some bad long-term side effects down the road. And for that reason, most eye doctors, including me, will not recommend this procedure. I can still see the benefit of changing corneal scars, white corneas, corneal opacities, or helping with glare issues, actually having a functional improvement that way though. Now, there are some other procedures that can change the appearance of the color of the eye, one being a silicone implant that's implanted right over the iris in the eye, and this has been linked to definitely some problems and issues, some causing glaucoma or cataracts. Another procedure is called laser depigmentation, where they use a laser and remove the pigment. They blast out the pigment of the iris, and this actually causes a permanent damage to the iris. And this one makes people worried as well because, hey, where's that pigment go? It can block up the drainage ports of the eye and cause your eye pressure to shoot up, and could cause glaucoma and other problems and issues, eye inflammation as well. And so this one is also not recommended. So that being said, keratopigmentation or corneal tattooing is the safest option of changing the appearance of your eye color, at least for what is available right now. I actually looked up the cost of keratopigmentation, corneal tattooing, and it can range between $10,000 and $13,000 for both eyes. Cash price, this is not covered by insurance. Now, I plan on going into more detail about those other procedures in another video, and when it's done, I'll put it in the description below the like button. Let me know in the comments, have you seen these videos floating around on social media, or is this something that you would actually consider having done yourself? I'd be definitely curious to hear your thoughts. Stay focused.